deep from a bunker in a top secret location. In southern Indiana comes a gathering of the Gospel Broalition. If it's religion, politics, cars, guns, cigars, and anything else flammable, we're talking about it. For men, by manlier men. Get it? Got it? Good. This is the Gospel Broalition. And here are your hosts, Pastor Lee, J.R. Robinson, and the Hoosier Hillbilly, Mike Paul.
So, we have some sad news today. One of the members of the trio, as you can tell, is different. Our beloved Lee has been arrested for somebody turning him in on the Facebook. And I don't want to point any fingers, so I'll point my elbow. I think it was a token liberal. Shutup Cameron, everybody. Shutup Cameron is here. I mean, on my other side, as normal, Dauntless Gaming's J.R. Robinson.
SC squared.
I played the fifth on that whole deal.
So I want to know.
Yeah, I played the fifth.
He's not telling us.
Nope.
I'm.
So I was going through Facebook, and this notification popped up, and I was like, it asked if I knew anybody that is at risk of being an extremist, and Pastor Lee Brown.
How did you not turn all of us in?
I don't know. That whole rant that he went on.
Suck it. Yeah.
Suck it rant.
See, the suck it thing ended up getting him in trouble after all. I think he'll be back. I think he'll be out of jail next week.
Oh.
I think.
He doesn't know it was me.
Well, he's going to now. And he probably doesn't watch it. He's like everybody else. He doesn't watch this show. So we'll be fine. So.
Oh, thank goodness.
So, as you can tell, the dynamic's going to be a little different. We're going to have a liberal perspective on things.
Yes,
so
sir.
we're evening the balance a little bit.
That's right. It's going to be the best show ever.
We have the super libertarian, super Christian.
Now I got libertarian on my name too.
Yeah, we're gonna put libertarian in there with it. You've got the staunch conservative. You know, I got to take Lee's place, so I'm probably gonna go on rants. And then you have far left leaning.
That's
Shutup Cameron.
The token liberal.
I can't help it.
Yeah,
I can't help it. You guys are wrong. I'm right. Just
well,
go with it.
we're going to discuss some things. We're going to go over that. And let me get on my fancy. I don't have notes like Lee does here. So
No.
we're going to have to go.
Use the
We got
iPhone.
digital stuff now. We're
Yeah,
moved into
iPhone.
the digital age. So this Twitter thing. Apparently it's popular with all the kids now.
That's where I get my trending topics from.
Okay. Yeah, I stay
But
off
I'm not.
of it.
But I'm the oldest person at the table.
That's true. I stay off of it because I don't want to be angered.
You don't want to get lured
Oh,
into
I'm on
it.
it every night.
He's probably a blue check mark.
Oh, he's
I bet
probably
I bet
verified.
liberal over here.
They like to verify the liberals.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, there's a blue check mark at this with this person here.
But
this
we're
is
not
a
going to talk
good-
about her.
Okay, so we're not going to talk about her, but we are going to bring in New York governors, Cuomo,
Yeah.
kind of like sumo. He might as well be a sumo wrestler with a fat face. But anyway,
I think it's Cuomo.
It's Cuomo.
Cuomo?
Yeah. Cuomo.
Cuomo sounds better. We're going
Not to
with
correct
that.
you, but
I'm
we got to be politically correct here. You know.
He doesn't understand the hillbilly mentality here, does he?
You say it wrong
so what
on
is
purpose.
it? What is it?
Cuomo.
Cuomo. So Cuomo today. It's not today. This says today in this little thing here, but we're just.
He said this yesterday.
Said this yesterday. So it says we have to knock on those doors and we have to convince people, put them in cars, drive them, and get that vaccine in their arm. This is the mission.
That is the mission.
So
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
it sounds to me kind of like we have to convince people, but even if we don't convince people,
I think that they're.
I'm adding to
this
that.
is
He didn't say that. But
This is because we made fun of the Jehovah's Witnesses a couple weeks ago.
the Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah,
I
that
like
we were going to
that.
go door to door and knock, and now it's like we're putting you in the back of the van
Hey, just so you know, I signed up for that.
to be a Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah.
He'd be a great Jehovah's Witness. Matter of fact,
You need two though. There's always two.
there. Who's the next one? Who's with you? I don't.
I
Speaking
have an
of,
accomplice that I cannot name.
speaking of, we're also missing sweet Tony. He's working. You know,
He's black.
he identifies as, yes, which to you is the same difference. I get it, but it is what it is. So
That's true, guys. It's true, folks. He's black.
So it says here this is against the New York State Constitution, and New York can't force this.
I don't know what their constitution
Crap! They'll do what they want.
is. Yeah, they'll do what they want, and everybody will be just fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
Typically.
Everybody's,
well, they're just trying to save lives.
that's,
I mean, when they wanted their COVID numbers to go up, they sent all the sick people to the nursing homes to get them sick. So.
Pineapple.
Oh, man.
So that was going on. So then we're kind of on the same subject here. We're going to move on, and I don't know what this is. What is this, JR?
This is an announcement that Hannity ran the other night
Okay.
on the news that says,
That's
just in.
a news anchor that you've probably never seen.
Yeah,
No, I don't like
He's
him.
very entertaining.
he's on our team.
He's on, yeah,
He's
Well-
on our team. Most of the time.
most of the time. Yeah.
He says California to require mandatory vaccines for all state employees and healthcare workers.
What a bigot.
What a big... So, we talked about this several times. We talked about certain organizations around us hinting at, talking about this possibility coming very soon, here before the end of this year.
Now, call me crazy. I'll
I will.
side a little bit here with the whole vaccine thing for a second. Let's say that, okay, I'm on the fence about getting the vaccine. Why can we not wait for the FDA to approve this? Because
There's no time.
as a doctor, my job would be to make sure that my patients get the medical treatment necessary and not be a lab rat. So as a doctor, I don't even see how you can tell somebody, hey, yeah, go get it. It's fine. When it's obviously not fine for everyone. There's a testing phase that has to happen.
Maybe that's it, though. Maybe it's because the
Don't
doctors
you know
aren't...
we are the testing phase?
We are the lab rats. It's true. We've
And they like
been
it.
the lab rats through a lot of stuff that we didn't even know about.
Maybe
so.
it's because the doctors aren't saying that thing that the politicians need to come in and start putting us in the back of vans, like Cuomo said.
He'd really like to.
Yeah.
I mean, he'd have to put my dead body in the back of the van. Is
Yeah.
all we'd have to say about that. Come and get it kind of thing. So, okay, well,
Speaking of vaccines, right?
yeah.
I jumped ahead. We'll come back to it in a minute.
Okay.
I jumped ahead. Speaking
right.
of vaccines, that was a transition.
Oh, you went to the... Oh, JR, you're screwing me up. All right, go for it.
Transition.
Transition.
Speaking of vaccines, this just in today. Okay, this is today. But I said this was coming a long time ago. But we'll say it came today. The CDC recommends that vaccinated people in some locations, I don't know what those locations are, and in, doesn't say some, and in K-12 schools wear masks indoors. This is not suggesting that my kids wear masks indoors. This is suggesting that vaccinated people wear masks indoors.
Apparently, I'm missing the point of the vaccination.
Yeah.
Well, that's just the thing is they don't know about this new variant, and they don't know if
If it
the
actually
vaccine
covers it.
actually works on the variant or not. I mean, it's still too new for us to know.
But
So they're playing it safe, and they're wanting to make sure that everybody's protected, even if you've been vaccinated.
As you are yourself.
I am
He
vaccinated.
is.
Yeah.
And
that's,
no, he's also protected with his face covering.
Yeah. See.
We're not 6 foot apart,
Yeah.
so he is wearing
Yeah.
his face covering. Just
Oh, the air is so good.
it's not sitting right here. I'm just not gonna lie. It's
the air is so good.
It's a little stale right here.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the
Just
thing.
or just chew on a mint. You know, it makes your makes it.
And it's fine. My problem with the whole thing, when it started with masks, and then it started with don't wear them, you need them, you don't need them, and then it's vaccinations, we need those, and now it's if you get vaccinated, you don't need masks, and now, so the policy, the agenda is always changing. It was just, what was it, a month ago we were making fun of Biden for his social media post that said vaxxed or masked.
Mm-hmm.
That was his punchline, but the longer post was either get vaccinated or wear a mask until you do. So his social media post is useless now because now you have to get vaccinated and still put your stupid
Well, there's
mask
the
on.
thing. I mean, so how many people ran out and got vaccinated because
Yeah.
they said, "Oh, thank goodness, I don't have to wear this mask anymore. I'll just go get vaccinated because,
But you're still wearing your mask.
well, because they told him to."
Yeah. Yeah.
Sheep.
Yeah.
She.
So,
Well,
but
easy
yeah, I mean
now.
that's the thing.
Sheep.
Like, bah. But that's the thing. So how many people went out and got vaccinated
Yeah.
for that exact reason, saying, "Oh, I don't have to work in the store anymore."
Or really more for my case, in real life, I felt like I was highly encouraged to do so
Yes.
because of what I do for a living.
Well, and when it first came out, you didn't. There was no evidence of anything. It was kind of like, "Hey, this vaccine's out." There's obviously been no deaths at that point. You know what I mean?
True
Or there
enough,
had
yeah.
been, but not recorded probably. No side effects. Like, hey, the trials went good. Let's do this thing. So I think when it first
Well,
came
and
out,
the
they stood a better
email.
chance of getting people too.
The email that came out was like, "Hurry before the rest of the
Correct.
population gets it."
And before it runs out, because
Yeah.
when it first came out, it was, hey, only this age group.
They were talking
Or
about it was
only
short supply.
The first
Yeah.
responders or only the frontline
Yeah.
workers could get it.
Yeah.
And there's only limited supply, so hurry up and get it, kind of thing. And I do feel bad for the people that they're in the healthcare industry, that when all of this went down, they're scared to death.
So
Because they don't know the truth.
what the Hoosier Hillbilly is saying is he feels sorry for me.
I feel sorry for everyone but the liberals.
Oh,
They brought this on themselves.
had to bring that up.
But no, in all seriousness, I do feel bad for the healthcare workers because they were kind of between a rock and a hard spot in this whole scenario. There's a lot of people like me where my job, it's fine. I don't have to have it. But I think for some people, especially when it's coming out saying it's mandatory, I mean, do you risk losing a very good job for?
I just figured that my employer would require it before it's all said and done.
Yeah.
And I might as well go ahead and get it then while it was available.
Yeah.
And I had choice. I had choice on which manufacturer to go
Which
with.
one? Yeah.
So that kind of helped in my decision at that point.
Which are any of the rumors true about the whole quarter? I've heard quarters sticking to arms, and I've heard dyes that were put in it, and who knows? all
I
that
know a
stuff.
lady
I mean,
personally that did do a TikTok video, and she tested it, and just a couple hours after getting it, she did get a magnet to stick to her arm.
Really?
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I thought they were all hoax.
No, this one, I mean, I know her personally, so
Right. That's interesting.
I would not think that this would be.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not sounding so liberal right now.
He's
Nope.
he's getting there.
Nope.
He's
Not
getting
doing
there.
it.
We're working
Not
on it.
doing
We're working on it.
Facts and logic. It's like a Ben Shapiro show.
Well, I will tell you this. Now,
Not the intelligence, but
I don't believe I have the gift of prophecy, but there was a reason I kept my kids out of school this year, and this right here is it. I told my wife a month ago that we weren't putting up with the things that were getting taught in our schools.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't putting up with the regulations that could come down. And I said, right before school starts, it's all going to get bad again. Regulations going to come back. Masks
Yep.
going to come back.
Yep.
And I didn't put it in our notes here, but cities this week are dropping like flies. All over this country,
Mm-hmm.
mask mandates are back.
Are the numbers there to back that up?
Locally, our state, we have a graph of two
Yeah.
large spikes that COVID got bad, right? And they're way up there, like 21% positivity rate. And we've got that spike, and then we got the next one, and then the graph goes like that. Like it's inclining, but it's dang near zero.
Yeah.
Right?
Like 2%.
Yeah. So our positivity rate's back up in the 6% or whatever. It's not 20-something% like it was when
When it
COVID was supposedly bad. But
Yeah.
and then it was I think 2 weeks ago, 2.5, 3 weeks ago, my wife and I made the final decision. That's it. Our kids aren't going back to public school. Between critical race theory, mask mandates, the suggestion that the CDC made to schools that they should make the vaccine available within the school building. And then passing laws that children as young as 12
They make their own
can
decision.
make their own decision about the vaccine. That coercion is just not going to happen. I don't have any kids that young, but
Yeah.
and then so we made that decision. One of our kids not happy about it, And I said, just wait, it's going to get bad. And then our local school system lets out a Facebook post 2 weeks ago that says, we're not doing any of it.
Yeah.
We're not enforcing masks. We're not requiring vaccine.
Did they go back on that?
Well, this is just today.
They have not yet, but once again, there's only so much of a
Yeah.
line they can hold.
But that's because 2 weeks ago the CDC said, we think you should do this, but you schools are capable of making your own decisions.
Yeah.
This article says CDC changes their mind again.
Shocker.
Yeah, changes their mind again.
Wow.
And even the vaccinated within the schools need to be wearing masks. So, prophecy or not, I said it was going to get bad before school started, and it's happening a week before school starts.
I remember, and this is not, I don't want to make your super Christian head any bigger than it already is, but I do remember somebody about 9 months ago, maybe a little
9
longer.
months? Okay.
About the whole saying that the vaccination was going to be mandatory for a lot of places.
It wasn't 9 months ago. That would have been great if I predicted that back then.
It was a while back.
It was about 3 months ago.
Was it 3 months?
I sent out to people I was concerned about. I says, hey, it's looking like there is grounds for companies that even we work for to try to enforce this.
Yeah.
And this is how they could do it. Ding, 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 ding. Everybody was like, no, they can't do that.
Yeah.
And here we are. We're watching them try really hard.
Well, just to clarify, when I had said, no, they can't do that, I had said, as long as it's in emergency use.
And it still is.
When the FDA approves it, which...
Then it's...
I mean, let's be real. They're going to approve it.
Once again, who controls the FDA?
I don't know.
I'm going to assume the government.
I think the masked people can control them.
So if you've got the government in charge of the FDA...
Are these
That's Zuckerberg. No, he's in a totally different category. So the lizard man.
I get so confused.
The lizard man.
All these new terms that I'm coming since I've been hanging out with you guys.
I know. See, we're getting to him. So our next subject here. This is
exciting.
We can hope.
This is exciting.
We can cross our fingers and we can hope. So Hannity tweeted out, it's official. Rand Paul sends criminal referral to the DOJ, request probe into Anthony Fauci.
I don't know if you've seen it. First of all, we're sorry that the only thing we talk about is COVID. However,
is right now.
when we try to, I ever talked about it. So.
When we try to cover relevant topics, this is all you get.
Yeah.
Unless you want to listen to some music.
Comment down below what you'd like us to talk about.
Comments are open. Nobody took advantage this week except spammers that I had to delete.
Yeah,
so
stinking spam.
I don't know if you got to see this week, but I watched the hearing where Rand Paul accused Fauci, and what this is about is Fauci funding the Wuhan lab to perform a specific task with a virus. Mm-hmm. I don't remember the technical term that they used. You can watch the video and see it. And Fauci has been on record saying, I did not fund that lab, but Rand Paul had proof that his organization funded the lab. He goes, so you funded a lab that did this. And the only thing Fauci would say is, I see where you're going. You're trying to blame me for the COVID outbreak.
Yeah. And Rand Paul's
like, no. I'm trying to prove you funded a lab that did this. Mm-hmm. And he's like, you're not putting this COVID thing on me.
Yeah,
it's like he couldn't think about anything else.
Did you see him? He was at one point shaking. He was so nervous. Fauci's sitting there just shaking.
Yeah.
He knows he's caught. He knows the gig is up. Now, once again.
Does it matter?
Doesn't matter. It's just like Arizona audits.
Yeah.
Does that matter?
Well.
Does it really matter?
Well, it depends on how you try to get your message out.
That is an interesting topic.
So here, Mr. Token Liberal.
I can't wait for this.
Was the election...
Keyword being token.
Was it... God, I don't know if we can hold it any longer. So, Mr. Token Liberal, was there any fraud in the election?
Plead the fifth.
Was there a small bit of fraud? Or a massive amount of fraud?
Let's see. What is it that they said? There's a lot of smoke, but we can't find the fire.
What's a cop out?
Now, that's
doesn't that sound familiar though?
It does. It sounds. He is really the token liberal. He's doing well with the whole liberal thought process here.
Well, I guess it just depends. They uncovered something pretty profound
Was 70,000?
in Arizona, something worth mentioning.
Yeah.
And they said, hey, look at this. And Big Tech said, no, don't look at that. It's gone. Nobody can see that.
The entire hearing was on YouTube.
Yeah.
It was gone.
Now it's gone.
And it was a legit official hearing in the courts.
Yeah.
And is now gone. Why? Why?
Why is it gone?
Why is it gone?
You don't need to know that.
Here, let me show you this. Let me show you this. I'll have to dig here to get these pictures.
Oh, no.
You guys continue talking about
Are you gonna-
Arizona.
You want to flash it up on the...
No.
Oh,
no.
okay.
Well,
No,
what
we're
do
not
you
flash it-
think?
flash
What do
it up
you
on the-
think is going to happen should Arizona be turned flipped?
Do you want
Flip.
my hopeful opinion or my honest opinion?
Well, I mean, we've got time because he's got to dig. So
My honest opinion is going to say no, absolutely not. I don't think anything's going to happen.
Is there a possibility that other states might be like, oh, there was something going on down there. Maybe we need to check ours.
I'd say there's a possibility, but once again, I know how this system works.
If something profound happened in Arizona, which it did, and they had some way to get it out to the public, which they tried, and it stuck, which it didn't, then maybe other states would have tried this.
Maybe, but once again,
So why is Texas going through and arresting those people that want to change the voter rights? Or arresting those that fled so that they couldn't vote?
Yeah, they skipped out on their job to go spread COVID in Washington, D.C.
Right.
And gave it to, what was her name? That Lee said her name was? He made up a name for a certain individual that he wished ill fate upon.
Oh, I don't remember what he was calling her.
I'm surprised he doesn't remember because that's his idol. So, but anyway, so yeah, they
She's
fly
like
over
Mother
there.
Mary to me.
They spread the COVID, and then they try to come back. Texas is like, you come back, we're going to arrest you. I don't know if they did. Did they end up arresting him?
Yeah.
I'm not.
I don't know the
think
story.
I read an article that said that one of them has been
Arrested?
indicted.
I didn't indicted all of them. So
One
they
of
come
them, for
back
sure.
in,
One
especially
of
in
them
Texas. They can get away with a lot of stuff in Texas. Texans do what they want.
Never moved to Texas.
So you have this picture now?
Go to Illinois.
I'm ready.
Do it.
So I was talking, not with you guys, with somebody else this week about
You have other friends?
sometimes.
I'm
Wow.
offended.
Sometimes.
It's okay. Well, there's a little quiet room right there you can go into.
Video games
and
create
try it
great
out.
friendships. Video games create great friendships. So I was talking to a guy, and Lee actually sent this to me the first time before he got incarcerated. Right.
Okay.
But
We're with
somebody
you, Lee.
But somebody
Stand
else
strong
was,
for Lee.
Somebody else was
Well,
asking
that's
me about
probably a
it.
bad sign. Here,
And there-
I'll make some other sign up. Sorry.
There is an attorney that's got a hold of a whistleblower
Okay.
that says that the VAERS reporting agency, maybe not called an agency, the VAERS website
Yes.
that reports
the COVID
deaths, it reports everything.
Yes.
Symptoms, deaths of just about anything you can think of. That she has on good authority that it is wrong by at least fivefold.
Fivefold. And what are their numbers? Just out of curiosity.
Well, 2 weeks ago, VAERS reported 10,000 dead within 3 days of the vaccine.
Within 3 days.
I think that's how they blame that. Okay, don't quote me on that.
Dang it.
Or leave a comment, and I'll let you know what I think about it.
Oh, we will.
But last week,
My posse. We will.
that number magically went to 4,500. Now VAERS is only reporting 4,500.
So they made a major.
This lady
mathematical
claims
error.
that based on what she knows, that the number is closer to 45,000.
I've heard something about this perhaps going on in the courts right now.
Yeah.
But
There is an attorney that is filing what he needs to file to sue them over and over again, the way he put it.
But just so you know, our country is really good at counting numbers.
They're really good at making people like this disappear, too.
yeah, that's
I mean, but we can make numbers out of nothing,
true.
Yeah.
and we can make numbers go away.
As an
It's a
old
liberal way. just
as
so
an
you know.
as an old guy I used to work with, his favorite saying was, "Liars figure and figures lie." It was this always this thing about talking about the accountants and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. So they come out. Let's say they come out and say 45,000 dead. Does it change anything?
Well, that wasn't quite my point. We'll get there in a minute.
Has the ball been thrown?
No. So when my other friend asked me about this idea, I pulled up. Happened to be Google because I was on my phone at the time, I think. Okay. And when you search Google for 45,000 dead, its response is no evidence of 45,000 deaths from COVID-19. Conspiracy theory claims Biden covered up 45,000.
I haven't heard that one until now.
And then Snopes also denies it.
Snopes. Yeah.
Same.
Wait. Snopes?
I know it's your favorite website.
Same
of
two
all
words.
time, but
45.
I thought it was Snoops.
we did that last week. Same search algorithm. 45,000 dead. Run at Bing instead.
Mm-hmm.
Also a liberal corporation, but
yes.
its response is its return is 45,000 dead from COVID vaccines and within 3 days. Lawsuit brought by doctors group claims 45,000 dead. 45,000 dead from the COVID shot. Nothing says conspiracy. Nothing says false. And these responses do not show up in a Google search, but they do in a Bing search.
Really?
Same
what
words.
about DuckDuckGo?
It's funny you ask, because this friend responded with DuckDuckGo results.
DuckDuckGo, that's the go-to.
Half and half.
I've never heard of this.
Half and half, huh?
Yep. VAERS whistleblower, 45,000 dead. Lawsuit brought by doctors, 45,000. No, so DuckDuckGo still conservative.
I've never heard of this search engine.
You need to try it.
Well, liberals don't use DuckDuckGo.
No, I mean Google's the way to go.
Well, if you want your
That's why
results filtered,
starts
that's the
with
way to
go.
go.
Yeah.
So that's I used the same 45,000 dead. Google says it's all fake. Bing reports the things that have been said. That is how, when Arizona finds something prominent and they try to put it on a platform that Google owns, and now it doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, we're going to cancel it.
We're going to cancel it.
Canceled.
Oh, we've already had an episode about cancel culture.
Yeah, cancel culture.
It didn't do so good. It was canceled.
I mean, it was canceled.
It was canceled.
Yeah, they said cancel. Wow. All
Just
right.
like Lee Brown.
Yeah, poor Lee. Lee, I hope they're treating you right, buddy. I hope if you can see this in your prison cell, because I'm sure they give you internet and all the fancy. You probably got a gym to work out.
They probably
in.
filter a show
Are
like
they better
this.
off? Really?
Huh?
They probably filter a show like
Yeah,
this.
they probably do. It's probably run it through a VPN when you do it.
Lee,
You don't
just
See,
see
so
if
you
we
don't
were
know what
sponsored
that
by
is.
VPN, then I could put it down below.
Lee,
but we're
just
not.
so you know, I just want to message to you. I hope and pray that you really get some really good thought while you're in there.
and change your ways. Change your hateful ways and how you
And-
scream at the
wait a
poor
minute,
liberals
wait a
all the
minute.
time.
I also hope that he gets voting rights.
Wait a minute. Liberals pray?
Oh.
That was a question mark at the end of that. Liberals pray? Question mark?
Liberals pray? Question mark.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Who do you pray to? Your Lord and Savior Fauci?
Pretty much.
I figured so.
What are you going to do when he's locked up right next to Lee?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, man.
We will see. We'll see what can happen there. Once again,
Well, you know he is in a maximum security prison.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
As
where
maximum as it gets in this county.
that's what they told me. All the extremists go to maximum security.
they're going to start going to camps here pretty soon.
Oh no, that can't happen.
Well, we talked about it. COVID camps have been in the CDC guidelines for COVID response since the very beginning.
Mm-hmm. Just not implemented yet.
Not implemented
Well,
yet.
that we know of.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? Who knows at this point? It's a crazy world, and here we are living in it. Just trying to do what we can.
But it's let's see, when we did the Tom McDonald video, when he was to the Snowflake video,
Mm-hmm.
our most watched video, by the way.
Go watch it. It's great.
Or watch the other one and catch them up. But
True.
he was saying that it's not going to change basically until we do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I like Graham Allen so much. I know you guys don't follow him like I do.
We're gonna go to, no, I do not.
Is
no.
that on here?
Yep.
He doesn't even know who he is. But
See, your segue from one.
he's skipping
one
back and
topic
forth
to
to
the
some
next.
weird stuff here.
It was just so smooth. I couldn't keep up.
Yeah, it's all smooth until somebody mentions that there was a transition.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But we're good at that. That's just going to become our thing where
yeah.
we
By the
call
way,
out
we're
all.
transitioning.
Hey, this is
Not
my
like
first
that
time.
though. Not like you transition in today's world.
Not like you're
this
thinking
is a different
about.
transition.
I'm a beginner.
He might be transitioning, and we don't know.
So Graham Allen, super conservative, running for Congress now in his state.
Yep.
Ex-military, proud, red, white, and blue, gun-toting American. This is what he had to say today, actually. They are bringing back masks, which we've been watching all week. Cities
that's
dropping left and
happening.
right.
Yeah.
They will bring back the lockdowns
No doubt.
and then climate ones. Listen to last week.
Oh, here we go.
And they will shut down our schools. So he brought you all the bad news, and then he ends this with this social media post with, "How much longer are you going to let them take away your freedom?"
Just as long as Grandma's safe.
Yeah. So there's the thing.
Grandma's
At
safe.
what-
They're all vaccinated.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at what point?
But the vaccine doesn't work.
That's so you will get the next one.
Oh.
I mean, he's
They-
already on the pre-register list.
So we could even blame Delta on the vaccine, or we can blame Delta for the need for a new vaccine. Either way, vaccines in both answers.
So just to confirm,
We've
we
used
are
that word a lot. By
we
the
have
way.
used this word a lot. So we're not saying jab anymore.
No,
Nah.
it doesn't work.
It takes too long to edit that stuff.
They're gonna catch it anyway, so who cares at this
Yeah.
point? We're just gonna say what we want.
Even if I edit it, I put it in the body of there to
Oh,
draw
yeah,
attention.
yeah.
So
Yeah. Oh well, we'll just get the little disclaimer at the bottom. Don't believe it. Whatever it's saying is probably wrong. It's Google. Not a trusted site
YouTube.
anymore. You know, I am so glad that I have the Amazon in my house and not the Googles. Because Amazon's so much better.
I think they are both equally problematic.
Jeffrey Bezos, see, there you go, buddy. I got your back. Send me some money. Easy.
So they're bringing
Easy.
back the mask. Check. Lockdowns.
Gonna happen.
I
Don't
mean,
worry.
that's fine with me because
Then you
I
get to
made-
work from home, and
I made a buttload of money while everything was locked down
Mm-hmm.
for hardly any work.
Mm-hmm. That's typical liberal style.
Shut down schools.
Mm-hmm.
That one's not so good for me.
Well,
not gonna lie
you know,
there.
hey.
That's not good. How much longer are you gonna let you? Man, that really resonates with me.
Does
your
it?
freedom.
Yeah,
What? Liberals
you-
enjoy freedom?
you're talking that if I like freedom, then I have to be conservative.
If you like the opposite of all those things right there.
Well, yeah. If you just scroll through our list tonight, are you on board
Guys,
with?
I'm
Hold on,
having
hold
a
on.
really hard time right now.
Are you on board
see.
with the governor saying we need to throw people in the back of cars and get their vaccines in their arms? We're on board with all state employees having mandatory vaccines. We're okay with Fauci funding what could have potentially started this whole thing. Are we okay with giving up our freedoms? And are we okay with our vaccinated people still needing to wear masks?
I can't handle it anymore.
See, the
I
mask
can't do it.
is cutting the
I can't
oxygen
do
off
it.
to his brain.
Oh,
Token liberal, everyone. He is unmasked. And
the air is
Hold
so
on.
clean.
hold on.
Unmasked and converted.
Do you have COVID? He took it off and he's fine. Look, see everybody?
No, I'm good.
You can take the
I'm
mask
good.
off and still live. It's amazing.
good.
It is amazing.
Is there a trash can?
There you go. Beautiful. Look at that. So, I think JR's little speech over here did it. And if you remember back when Lee was talking about super Christian JR, about how you think you tithe 10%, he tithes 110%. He goes out and gets a
That's right.
spare job just so he can give more. Because
Yeah, I took
that's
out a
just the
loan,
kind of
according
guy.
to Lee, yeah.
And well, I thought it was a spare job.
Took out a loan,
I mean, you took
yeah.
out a spare. You went and got a second job just so you could afford giving more. That's amazing. So not only that, he doesn't. You know, me and ex-token liberal over here. You know,
Ex.
we might spread the gospel to somebody, and we might get a converted soul every once in a while. But JR is so powerful, he can convert liberals. Boom, conservative, right there.
Just
He was
put it-
borderline Antifa, everybody.
works.
He was borderline Antifa, and he's a Proud Boy now.
If
You
he's
see how
Proud Boy.
quick
Sign me
that
up.
went?
Where do
You
I
see how
sign
quick
up
that
at?
went? Look at that Proud Boy moment right
I
there.
mean, I just want my freedom. I want to be free.
Freedom is a
Yeah.
great thing, and fortunately, we're seeing that being taken away. It's been tromped on for a long time. And we've
So,
not done
Lee,
anything about it.
if you're listening, I will call and rescind my report.
Look at that. So, Lee, if you do
He
get
will
this,
be back next time.
He'll be back, and when he is, he's going to have some very unkind words for you because he is not a very forgiving person. He is not merciful.
I think he likes you
Most
being liberal.
merciful, Lee is not merciful. So there's still going to be some words. You're just going to have to put up with it. But now that you're
no.
conservative, they're not going to hurt your feelings because you don't have
Yeah,
any.
that's right.
You don't have any feelings now that you're conservative because everybody's going to stomp on you
It'll
now.
just roll off my back like a
You're
water
a,
off a duck.
You're a white racist pig. Congratulations. You are now one of us.
Welcome to the
Hey,
club.
Welcome to the club.
Can we celebrate with the beer later?
Well, two of us might. One of us might have a tea. I'm not going to point out who. You make your own decision on who that is.
Tea.
Bush latte.
Bush lattes are coming out. So now that we're past our whole COVID news section here, the only other thing I saw through the week that really kind of piqued my interest was, we're gamers.
Yeah.
I'm new.
He's new. He's a new gamer, but
He's trying.
He's a gamer. So I'm PC Master Race because it's the best. I mean, just is. So
I have everything.
except a good gaming PC. But we can blame that on COVID because COVID's drove the price.
Blame that on liberals.
Sticking liberals. See, aren't you glad you can't be blamed for that
You can't
anymore?
blame me anymore. And you know what's nice? I can drink this water now.
Yes, you can.
Without
Without having to have a
removing
hole
your
in your
mask.
mask and drink through a straw. Nice. So, I saw this little article, a guy I watch on YouTube had it, about, and I didn't believe it at first, about California, and I don't remember the rest of the states. Hawaii was one of them. There's 6 states total. You'll have to Google it. Well, don't Google it, Bing it, or DuckDuckGo it. They might actually give you the real truth.
Mm-hmm.
There's 6 states that are saying you cannot buy a gaming PC anymore. A certain gaming PC, probably over like 500 watt power supply, somewhere in there. I don't know what the specs were on. But if you go to Dell's website and you try to order one of their Alienware PCs, you will see that the PC cannot be shipped to your house if you live in California.
Yeah.
Because it draws too much power.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Now the government is trying to ruin your gaming experience also.
What is it? 800 volts? 800 watts. is the
800
power
watt
supply.
power supply. Well, I've got a 500 watt power supply or a 660 in my PC. That is under extreme load. So
Yeah.
at the highest point of any game, it won't even draw that. It's
That's-
still got an overhead. So it's still got
5 light bulbs in your fancy kitchens that are not LED.
yes.
5
Is
light
what?
bulbs.
So they had a list
Like
of
what's in my
everything. Yeah.
Incandescent.
and it's even worse because I have the old style fluorescent lights.
oh.
See, you have Google, you have Amazon, and you have Edison.
Fluorescent.
That's how we. Yeah, that's the things we use here.
I have
but-
to manually go up and turn on a switch
Yeah,
so that my lights come on.
exactly. I've had manually hit a switch in a long time,
That's terrible.
except for maybe 1 or 2. But anyway, so here's the thing. So these states are saying you can't buy these gaming PCs. Do you think this is going to affect how gaming is in the future? So Xbox comes out with a new Xbox, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to downgrade the power of it now because of such things? Now, granted, the Xbox isn't drawing as much as a gaming PC, but it might someday. Is Xbox going to have to change their whole design just so they can fit power needs?
So those
And if
states
it
that
starts-
you mentioned,
if it starts
they're
there-
already restrictive on
That's
a
the
lot
thing.
of their...
Okay, so it's there. What else can you not have now that you live in these states? But they want you to have an electric car that you're going to have to plug in.
That
Oh,
charges
that's gonna take
on-
a
That
lot
I'm going to
more.
say probably takes more than a PC.
To charge
just
a car,
going out on the limb
to
and
charge
saying,
a Tesla overnight, it's more than my PC's using. Yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah, I still don't
I know
understand
where
all
we're
that
going with this.
anyway. The electric car. I really am having a hard time understanding.
Well, that's
that.
because
Even when I was liberal, I had a hard time.
well, that's because we're rednecks and we like diesels.
I do drive a diesel truck.
We drive diesels, so
I'm going to share an unpopular and probably inaccurate opinion.
I like it.
Solar panels cause global warming.
Oh,
What?
no, you didn't.
I thought they were going to save the planet.
Okay.
All right, go for it.
They're
No,
all over
that's it.
Hawaii.
That's
When we
it.
went
That's
to
it.
Hawaii,
No proof.
What if, I got this idea from a book, by the way, and books are always right.
Okay, sure.
What if you had a flat desert that's been nothing but sand for hundreds of square miles?
Okay.
And then, for the sake of solar power, you're filled hundreds of square miles with solar panels.
Okay.
How do you think that affects the environment? When you're reflecting.
You're reflecting the sun at this point. So
For
either that is going
hundreds of
to-
square miles.
Yeah. So I don't know. How is that going to affect it? Is it going to bounce the heat back, or those solar panels? The solar panels actually are gathering heat. I would imagine at that point
It probably
they're
wasn't
retaining
still...
some bit of heat. I don't know how solar panels work, so don't quote me on that.
And it's probably not near as much as what Bezos used to do his flyby last week, so...
in the phallus rocket. Is that what we're
Phallus
going to call it?
rocket.
The phallus rocket.
I'm telling you what, I looked
it's
at
a
that...
bird.
It's a bird. It's a
plane.
plane. No! What is it?
Quit looking.
Close your eyes.
I looked
Wait.
at that and I thought, I can just see the headlines already.
I want to
I
see.
hid that from my daughter. I mean, we were
Yeah.
scrolling, oh crap! Move.
I want to see the engineer at Amazon that came up with that. Probably doesn't like Bezos very much. Probably not a happy man. It was like,
It was a
I
Tesla
know,
rocket, wasn't
I'm
it?
going to make him a rocket.
It was a SpaceX rocket, wasn't it?
Was it?
I think so.
I don't know. So it didn't.
SpaceX is the only one that's landing.
So everybody
Leaving and landing,
Everybody
so.
complained of the fact that Bezos is shooting this rocket off and it's using all this rocket fuel. It was a hydrogen rocket, apparently.
Oh, that's
Some
super
type.
safe.
So it's good for the environment. Here's the other thing. Okay, how many gallons of fuel did his yacht take to get it out there? How many gallons of fuel did it cost to supply everything, get it back and forth, and then all of the? So once again, it was not 100% environmentally friendly. Just like your electric car is not 100% environmentally friendly because you're robbing the earth of all the ore to build those stupid batteries that only last for 7 to 10 years and are going to be in a scrapyard somewhere decaying.
I'm just glad
At a
I know
rapid rate.
good mechanics that can keep my diesel truck running for
Yes.
years. I mean, as
Yes.
long as I can continue to buy the fuel,
You go buy an $80,000 car that's electric,
yeah.
and you're going to drive it for 7 years before the warranty's out. And once the warranty's out, what are you going to do? You going to replace that $30,000 battery or however much it's going to cost?
Price
No.
is coming down.
I'm sure it is. But once again, what are you going to do with all this scrap? All these lithium-ion batteries laying
That
around.
are not recyclable.
They're not, no. And once they're done, they're done. They don't think about that. And by the way, you're charging your Tesla with a coal-powered plant. You're welcome. So,
Well, most cities
It-
are.
Most
it makes
cities.
a
Some
lot
are
of
not.
sense.
Are nuclear, so then you got to get rid of the nuclear waste. You're probably not charging them with your windmills because apparently those don't work very well. Ask Texas right
Well,
now.
they kill a bunch of
I
birds.
think we're about to go nuclear around here, actually.
Are we?
I think Vectron's
I'm
making
I'm
the switch.
okay with nuclear power. Nuclear
I think
power does
Vectron's
not
making the
bother
switch
me.
in the next 4 years.
Really,
Mhm.
I does not bother me. They are
Is
fairly
Duke?
reliable. I don't know. I know they're
I
doing
thought
something
Duke-
different, but
I thought Duke was.
they might be. I don't know. I haven't kept up here lately. There was talks of locally going nuclear power, which, like I said, I'm fine with. Out of all the nuclear plants in the world, there's been very little accidents. But when an accident happens,
Oh, it goes big,
it's a big accident.
and we
I
learn a
mean,
lot from it.
Yes. Do not take the control rods in and out very fast. That's all I know because I've watched a lot of documentaries on it, and just because I like watching stuff blow up, it makes me happy.
And then I learn about all the effects of radiation.
It's true. So between me and him and Mr. Super Christian knows everything, we could probably build our own nuclear plant.
SC.
SC
Squared.
squared. And there's so many
That's
names.
right.
JR has so many names. It's
That's
almost
right.
embarrassing. But he is the best.
Well, I mean, he was predestined to be SC squared.
Oh, that's a good little segue into a future topic that we'll cover one day. But we can't cover that without.
Wait,
we can't cover that without Lee because I want to see his angry face.
I so totally wish I could talk during that. You know.
See, you can't now that you've been exposed to the public.
Now that you know who
now
I am.
you can make your voice in the corner be heard.
He'll still tell you to shut up.
He will tell you to shut up, but you can talk now. If he ever comes back. So, is anything else? Anything
I
else?
don't understand
going on
why
in
he
the
ever
world?
told me to shut up because it's not like I talk that much, right?
No, but when
I
you
don't
do-
know.
but
It's just
when-
something he started.
But when you did, you were super annoying.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
why. But now that you're a conservative, now we'll probably get along better. I mean, you're shouting your liberal ideas out from the corner.
Yeah, I was trying to.
Yeah.
And remember that one time he got distracted because I was trying to write down the note to tell you.
Yeah, he did not like that.
Yeah, he got mad about
So
that.
a little behind the scenes action here. Sometimes, especially when we're talking about information that I have no clue about because I don't prepare at all. I don't know if anybody's ever caught that. I don't prepare at all. So, especially when it gets into the medical field stuff, I used to get side notes, kind of a little on a board. He'd write it down real quick and flash it up. So if I ever look smart, that's why.
He was liberally smart.
He's liberally smart.
Yeah.
But Lee put a quick stop to that because it distracted him.
Yeah, it
And
distracted
so
him.
that's why I got dumb again.
One time.
I didn't have cue cards anymore, so my cue card man is gone. So anyway,
Well, then they gave me another job too.
that's true. Well, yeah, we had to give you
Yeah.
something to do so you
Yeah.
didn't flash the cards at
That's
me
right.
anymore.
That's right. And oh man, does that mean that Lee is not going to tell me how awesome of a job I do anymore? No.
No, now you're going to get the cold hard truth all the time, and it's going to hurt.
No, because it's only the left that need that constant pat on the back.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can handle this. Can you hand me my
Mask
back? Get
just
that
put it
out
on
of
half
trash.
your face and just be like, I'm half liberal.
What
Just
can
do
I
that.
choose when I want to be liberal and when I want to be conservative?
Sure, everybody else does.
Yeah, it's pretty well mainstream media. They like to do that.
Although they pretty much
benefits them.
just chose liberal lately.
Yeah. But all right, well, if on that bombshell, as
On
we'd
that
like to say,
bombshell.
Yeah.
any other topics?
You gotta say "suck it" once.
I see.
We-
He just
tell-
threw it out
tell-
there, and now
Tell somebody
You can't
to
force
suck
it.
like, you can't force to
Oh,
suck it.
come on.
It's just got to come naturally. Hold on, it might come. All right. So, no,
No,
it's not gonna happen.
nothing.
Anyway, if you got any, there's. By the way, we're doing this because Lee's locked up. We have other
Temporarily.
plans on our usual.
As soon as I leave the bunker and get up to where we have
He
cell phone
can get him
service,
back out. Yeah, he can get him back out.
Yeah,
I'll be relieved.
get back up to
I'll be
to
relieved
top
because
ground.
are you going to make the phone call and let them know that we're not a threat anymore?
Well, I didn't report you two. I mean,
Okay.
He's saving that for later.
I was.
That's what it was.
I was
I'm
waiting to
glad
see-
you turned him because if not, we probably had 3 hots and a cot.
Well,
That's what we
I was
would've had.
thinking, well, we'll see how this goes. If you guys offend me too much,
That's true.
then you'll be the next to go.
It worked well. It worked well.
Yeah, it didn't work. Now I feel bad.
I mean,
feel
I
really
didn't even
bad.
have to tell you, suck it at all.
See, you can't force it.
I can't. It didn't even work then. I apologize. I know that's Lee's saying. So, and another Lee saying on that bombshell. If you have anything you'd like us to talk about, pin it down in the comments. We have comments now. Don't say anything mean. It hurts certain people's feelings. Say nice things. Actually, we don't care. Say whatever you want. Put it in the comments down below. JR edits them anyway. So if you get too rowdy, it's out.
Yeah, give me a shout out.
Yeah, give
Hashtag shut
tell
up
him
Cameron.
to shut up.
Yeah, hashtag shut up.
Yeah, there you go. Let's see if we can start
Which
that
I
trending
did
on
do.
Twitter.
I put that in the Google one time. I know you're trying to close things up, but it came up with this guy that works for some kind of metal company, like a.
Really?
Yeah, it's weird.
Oh, crap.
There's
There's already
another
a shut up
Shut
Cameron.
Up Cameron that's out there. So
Yeah, we
shout
got-
out to that Shut Up Cameron.
We got it. We got to take a spot now. We're going to take a spot. Everyone, let's make this happen. Hashtag shut up Cameron.
Hashtag Shut Up Cameron is in the notes of every show.
Yeah? Yeah.
It's in the notes of every Facebook post.
Sweet, sweet Tony is in there too.
Yeah. So it should have showed up in those results too. When
Oh
you
yeah.
searched. Yeah.
Yeah, it did. But I knew I was going to be tagged in those.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, look at this. Another company that likes me. No.
No. That's so sad. That's so sad.
It'll get better now.
But anyway, like, comment, subscribe. I hope you had fun. Well, I know we did. This our rant and rave and carrying on here.
Yeah, we are. We haven't really pushed this so much, but we are approaching 100 subscribers, which changes our tools and our ways that we can do things on the YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So, tell your friends if you like them.
Yep.
If you don't like them, don't tell them, because we'll just make them angry.
That's probably true. But that's okay.
Yeah. So we're getting close to it. Let's make it happen.
Let's do it. Like, subscribe, comment down below. Like I said, give us some ideas of what you'd like us to talk about. Because if not, we're just going to do this.
We just get to talk about the news, which is depressing.
It is very depressing.
Well, we've got some other topics that we
We've got some topics that are going to come up, but we really need to wait for Chief before all that happens, because we'll bring you one here pretty soon.
We may have to wait for him to calm down a little bit too. So
that's true. Yeah, we don't want him to be angry when we talk about some of these subjects we want. So anyway, like, subscribe. See you guys. Odd transition.
Gospel Broalition is done, leaving behind charred minds, exhaust fumes, ammo, multiple cigar wrappers, and an empty bottle
You guys aren't going to talk?
of bourbon.
No, we're going to
Mission
I was just gonna
accomplished.
wait.
we never
You've been
wait.
listening
I
to
know.
the Gospel
Well,
Broalition
it's a good show.
with
We
Pastor
got
Lee,
good show.
J.R.
Good show.
Lewis,
Good show.
and
Good show.
the
We got.
Hoosier Hillbilly.
I mean, we got
Mike
one person
Paul.
left watching at this
A
point.
show for
Shout
men,
out
by men,
to Ireland.
if it's religion,
Nice to
And
meet you,
the
sir.
beautiful weather
cars,
that you're having right
guns,
now.
cigars,
Congratulations, sir,
and
because it is
anything else
miserable
flammable,
in
we're
Indiana.
talking about it. We hope you enjoyed the show. We know
man,
you
I
had
have to-
fun.
because
We'll
I
be back
see
soon,
it,
and thank you for
it
being a
premieres,
part
so it allows me to
of
watch
the
it live. It
Gospel
tells me how many
Broalition.
people are watching.
So, to the other
And
people,
a number of you made it all the way to the end.
hey, whoever made it to the end, comment down below. Let us know.
Peace.